welcome to Good Work Now. I'm Dr. Brian Moffitt. Let me ask you something. What kind of leader are you? When you leave the room at work, what do your coworkers or your direct reports say about you after you're gone? And today we're going to focus on your leadership style, coming to understand what kind of leader you are, and then ways that you can develop it to be more in alignment with the kind of leader you want to be. I'm very pleased to welcome to our show today Linda Mercier. She is a leadership and development consultant, coach, facilitator, and trainer with 30 years in business and entrepreneurial roles. Thanks so much, Linda, for being on Good Work Now.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
How does one become aware of their leadership, how people perceive them?
Okay.
Yeah, how do you develop that awareness about your leadership and how it's perceived by folks in your orbit?
Well, and there's several different ways.
Okay.
And some of them can be with meditation. You can actually go, and people have gone on retreats, year-long retreats, and sat and really contemplated themselves, what they do, begin to study the Enneagram, which is a tremendous tool in helping to help you become more aware, because it's all about getting the insight. And then not only getting the insight, but being able to hold it. And then, of course, it's very much like emotional intelligence. Okay, now I see it. What do I do with it?
Exactly.
So that's the development part. And the Enneagram very much has that part, offers that part. It really shows a map. Once you know what your style is, you can then grow. I call it coming out of your box, because, a lot of people say, well, personality typologies really put you in a box, and I don't like them, and I don't blame them, because no one wants to be in a box. But the Enneagram shows you the box that you're already in, and then gives you a map, if you're willing to look at it and go and follow it, on how to get out of it, how to grow and use your personal development to grow in those areas and become an absolutely great leader.
And actually, one of the interesting things about your background, Linda, is that you have this interest in the Enneagram, and you've done a lot of work with the Enneagram. And let's talk a little bit about what this is, and we'll put it on the screen as we talk through it intermittently, so folks can see the diagram and the 9 different quadrants. Is that the right word, quadrants?
Well, 9 different points.
The 9 different points of the Enneagram.
Right. I might just say right there that there are 9 points. The Enneagram is a circle.
Okay.
And I look at the circle as being a whole. That's the whole. And we're actually all of that.
Okay.
That's our wholeness. But there are 9 points around that circle, and we gravitate to one. And that's our dominant point, style, as you would call it. I would refer to it as your dominant style.
Okay. And for example, I took the brief quiz online, and we're going to talk more about how folks can do that. And I found out that my dominant point for me, my dominant style is helper, with the loyalist following second. And so let's talk a little bit about the Enneagram. How old is this thing? Where did it come from?
Well, no one knows absolutely for sure where it came from. It has a history going back 2,000 to 4,000 years.
Okay.
And it was in the Middle East and in Europe, and Enneagram is a Greek word, and Ennea means 9, and then of course the gram is the configuration. So it's based on ancient wisdom. A lot of Socrates, Plato, a lot of that may be somehow in it, but no one knows for sure. It sort of was secret, or not so secret, but just sort of not seen until the late 70s.
Under the radar for a while.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, and it reemerged, and with some study in South America, probably in 1970s, and then from there was brought into the United States, and a great deal of study has gone into it, and of course my interest has been with organization and development, and how that can impact.
One of the things that I find attractive or compelling about the Enneagram is that a lot of the psychology or typology tests or psychology assessments or personality assessments, like the Myers-Briggs and the DISC and True Colors, and there's a whole bunch of tests or instruments out there. They're primarily 20th century or 21st century creations, whereas the Enneagram, has been around for 2,000 to 4,000 years. I mean, that's fascinating. And so by its very nature, it seems credible
Yes,
that
yes.
it's been around.
Yes.
It's been around so long. Let's talk about the 9 different points
Okay.
in the Enneagram. So if you could walk us through what those points are.
I'm gonna talk about, first of all, the 3 centers of intelligence.
Okay.
And this is a good place to begin to identify what your style is. And by the way, everyone identifies their own style. No one assigns you what you are. They might say, gee, that person looks interesting. They might be, but no one knows like you do yourself. So getting back to the three centers of intelligence. One is, and I'll start with the body because that's at the top of the chart, and that's an 8, a 9, and a 1 at the top of the chart.
Okay.
And those particular types are body types. You know, they are very sensate in their body. They tend to, not all of them completely, but they tend to walk more grounded, they're more anchored to the ground. They feel that particular presence. They like to be in control of themselves and their environment. So that's an important quality for them. And the second one is the heart center.
Okay.
And those are 2, the giver. That's one that you thought it might be. And the other, the 3 is the achiever or the performer, known as both.
Okay.
And 4 is the romantic. And these people, again, because it comes into the body, our body, we're not separate. That's my integral coaching too. But and this fits really very much with it.
Sure.
But we're not separate in that particular way, and we come from the heart. That the heart people tend to, and you can feel. And the language we have is, I feel this way. How do you feel? And there is particularly with the giver, there is an ability to reach out there and tell what somebody needs.
Right.
You know, they develop
they
an
can sense
instinct.
it. Yeah. Empathy.
That's right.
Okay.
Third area is the head part.
Okay.
The head center of intelligence. And there are 5s, which are the investigator, or also known as the observer. And there's the 6, which you came up on your test. And by the way, I'm a 6. And that head center, the loyalist, is the 6 is also the loyalist. And the 7 is also in that. And the 7 is tends to be much more, when I say, I mean, they're looking all the time for new experiences. And so, you know, so they tend to really be able to jump from one thing to the next.
Linda, where can folks go to try this out, the Enneagram, to get a sense of who they might be with the assessment?
Well, one of the things, the test you took is going to be on my website.
Okay.
So I would say go to my website
Okay.
To take the test. www.merciercoaching.com.
We'll go ahead and put your email address on the screen, linda@merciercoaching.com, and her phone number is 916-933-6367. Thanks for giving us an introductory exploration of the Enneagram and its connection to leadership. This is fascinating, and there's so much more to explore than what we've had time today. But thank you for coming on the show and giving us an initial tour of this tool, which has been around for up to 4 centuries. I mean, this is fascinating to me. And thanks so much for watching, and until next time, keep up the good work.